So then, my name is Doster, and today I'd like to talk about rhetoric. Basically, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, in a time and place that was very different to the age which we live now, there was a man called Socrates. And basically, what Socrates would do is go around and talk to people. He'd talk to people in the streets, he'd talk to his friends, he'd talk to his students, he'd talk to all sorts of people from all walks of life. And the way that he spoke, the way that he sort of discussed things, became known as rhetoric. It became known as a style of discussion. And basically what it does is it goes like this. Socrates would say some words, and then someone else would say some words. And then from there, Socrates would try and work out what is it that is common between those two sets of words that have been said, those phrases, those ideas. And essentially, he's just bridging the understanding of he himself, Socrates, and whoever it is that he's talking to. Now, in order to do that, there has to be some crossover, right? When Socrates used words, it wasn't that they didn't understand any of the words, just like you can understand all of the words that I'm saying now. That being said, there is also another side of it, which is that there's the idea which is between the two people that are having the rhetoric. And that idea is not between them. There's a misunderstanding. There's something that's not understood. So rhetoric is this flowing thing of this back and forth. Now, rhetoric can also be a kind of antagonistic thing, right? It can be a debate. It can be that I have this idea which is trying to be put onto you. I'm trying to bring you to this idea. I'm trying to introduce you by persuasion, by explanation, by illustrating ideas, by lulling you with the use of words into something. Now, of course, there's a great book called The Last Days of Socrates, where he discussed exactly what it means for him to persuade someone, what it actually means for him to make a case and to have an influence over someone, and how it's not a direct assault. Socrates was not interested in persuading anyone. He was not carrying an idea that actually wanted to be put onto anyone. And of course, in the last days of Socrates, he is persuading a jury to not kill him. Right? So how can there be any more higher stakes persuasion than that? And yet, even in that situation, even in that environment, he was having a pure kind of rhetoric, which was actually trying to get at the truth, trying to get at a shared understanding, a common understanding. Now, when you know what rhetoric is, and you practice a little bit with the backs and the forths, you realize that the higher the understanding you have, the more open and susceptible you are to information, to persuasion, to understanding, to taking in what it is that people say, what it is that they're thinking. And in many ways, Socrates would always win the argument because he never argued. He would be taking it in and then understanding it in his way and then searching for what is the next thing, what is the back and forth, what is the way towards a shared understanding. Now, of course, he was on trial for his life because this is quite annoying to a lot of people. It is very much a irritating thing to be revealed to your own ignorance, to have your own ignorance revealed to you. And that's essentially what rhetoric is. And the growth that you get through rhetoric is directly proportional to the ignorance that you can embody and take on and realize about yourself. And of course, that was one of the genius points, the characteristics of Socrates as an enlightened master, as a visionary, as a philosopher. It's that he understood his own ignorance. It is that he understood what it is that was not clear to him, what it is that he didn't know how to articulate, what it was that isn't inside him as an emotion, as a perception, as a feeling, as a phenomenon. And because he was able to step into that and sincerely inquire into what it is that's going on and how different it is between him and other people, he could live in a different space. Right? This is something that is very much not discussed about Socrates. The rhetoric, the talk, the back and forth, the philosophizing was secondary to the space in which he lived. He lived in something that is just unable to be put into words, right? We can't imagine what kind of qualities he was feeling when he woke up in the morning and was thinking throughout his day and having these conversations. And that's why he's so inspiring, right? That's why his name has lasted. Because when you read a book like The Last Days of Socrates, or you read stories about Socrates, you understand the words, right? You get the words. There's no new words. Every word taken by itself is just a word. And yet beyond that, there's something that we're just starting to get, right? We're just starting to sense. And that is the beauty of Socrates, and that is his lasting contribution to human consciousness. It is rhetoric. Now, of course, through the scientific age and the age of reason and logic, rhetoric and debate and communication and discussion and linguistics has evolved in countless of ways, through many cultures and through many ways, right? It's this vast thing. Rhetoric can be taken in many ways. So I'm just talking about it in a sort of shorthand way here to get a point across. So that's just a little bit about rhetoric. Now, if you want to know more about how communication affects your state of understanding and the phenomenon of your experience, you can go ahead and enroll in my online course on developmental psychology. And in that course, we break down dozens of paradigms that actually express the different experiences of human consciousness. So we look at values, we look at personality, we look at behavior, we look at meditation, we look at enlightened states, and we go through all of these amazing things that can reveal to you how it is that your consciousness unfolds into something new. So follow the link in the description of the video. You can see the preview introduction talks, and there's a rating of, what is it? It's like 4.92 stars out of 5, I think, at the moment. I've got over 12,000 students on Udemy. Actually, I haven't checked in a while. It might have gone up by now, but I'll check again. And I'm always checking the comments. So if you do the course, leave me a comment, leave me a 5-star review, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. So follow the link in the description of this video and learn developmental psychology online. I look forward to seeing you there.